Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to talk about something very different than what I normally talk about. I'm not even talking about Overwatch, I'm not even talking about Blizzard today. Today I want to talk a little bit about Riot Games' new Project A that they announced this past week. And I just want to talk about it a little bit because it's getting a lot of comparisons drawn to it um, with Overwatch, which I think is interesting because I don't really think it actually applies, and I'll explain why in a little bit, and I'll even read to you a couple tweets and whatnot to explain it. But if you didn't see it, the gameplay, the trailer announcement thing should be playing in the background of this video, so you can get a good look at everything that's going on. It's slowed down, so you can just see the gameplay, and I'm just playing the gameplay. I'm not playing all like the other all the other stuff in there. So as you can see, it looks very CS:GO-ish with the way that the gameplay works and the way that the gun mechanics work and all that kind of stuff. It's very different from what Overwatch is in terms of gameplay. Yet a lot of people are still saying like, "Oh man, this is going to kill Overwatch. It's going to replace Overwatch." I don't think it will. I think both games have their own roles and their own kind of spaces in the world. I think this is a lot more similar to CS:GO, and I don't think it's going to kill CS:GO. I think that it's more of a CS:GO type of game. You look at the way that the game works, and we've gotten some information about it other than just this trailer, but you can see the way the shooting mechanics work and the way that everything about it works is very similar to CS:GO. So it's described, of course, as a character shooter that takes place in a futuristic Earth, which is very similar to Overwatch in that way. And there are characters that have unique abilities, at least from what we can tell. They look like unique abilities, and they said that they have, unique abilities. But its gameplay is not very similar to Overwatch. And just to kind of drive this point home, Greg Street, who is the VP of IP and Entertainment for Riot Games, who used to work on League, World of Warcraft, and Age of Empires, tweeted, "While we are honored by comparisons between Riot's Project A and Overwatch, the two aren't really in the same genre. Project A is a tactical shooter, lethality is high and you don't respawn, map control and gunplay are key, the abilities are more about utility." So that is one of the big things that he's tweeting out. He's saying, like, look, it's people are going to compare it to Overwatch. It's not really a thing. And in the replies, someone said, compare it to CS:GO, and he said, yes, closer to that. So that is more what it is. It's more of a CS:GO type of game. It's not really similar to Overwatch, but it looks interesting. I don't think that means anything bad about the game. I think it actually looks pretty interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Riot as a company, but the game looks interesting, so I'm curious to try it out and see what it's like, and give it a nice little test a couple times, figure it out, all that kind of stuff. It looks interesting. It's certainly a game that I would expect to be pretty popular, if only because it's a Riot Games game, and Riot is very, very popular in the esports scene. Obviously, with League of Legends being quite possibly the biggest esport in the world. Actually, it is the biggest esport in the world. So it's interesting, certainly, to look at. There's not a lot we have yet, of course. We just have this one look at the gameplay. But I think it's interesting. A lot of people have been saying they're going to grind this game when it comes out and all this other stuff. I think it's a little soon to be saying stuff like that, especially because the game itself, we're not going to get any more information this year. And we probably won't see a release for this game until, probably close to 2021 at the earliest. I don't know how. They said they're an alpha. I'm sure we're going to have a beta before we get the actual game fully launched. There'll probably be some kind of beta project that we will be able to play a little bit of. But I think it's very different to look at. It's a little weird to see a game this early from Riot, because Riot is not really a company that's had a lot of games, but this year they just decided we're going to announce a bunch of games, and we're going to see what happens. So it's certainly interesting. I think that it'll be something to follow as it comes out, just because we may see, of course, things happen that change, and it'll be interesting to see how the game differs more. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be very similar to Overwatch at all. I don't expect there to be assault and control and hybrid and escort and all that kind of stuff. I expect it 100% to be more similar to CSGO, where you maybe have some bomb planting, but it might just be a simple, like, wipe out the enemy team type shooter, which I would not be very good at, because I'm not a very good shooter player, because I don't know what I'm doing. So that is that. That's really my thoughts on this game. I think it looks interesting. I definitely want to give it a try. You know, it's not something that I would expect to play more than I play Overwatch. I mean, maybe by the time it comes out, I won't be playing Overwatch anymore. Who knows? You know, this game, like I said, probably won't come out for another 2 years. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it comes out next year. Who knows? They said they're going to talk about it more next year, so we'll have to wait and find out. That's really everything I have for you this video. I just wanted to make a short video talking about this because it's something that people have been looking at a lot. So I wanted to talk about it. So yeah, that's
this is our take on the competitive shooter.